Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of the movie making tutorial. In this one we're gonna apply some effects to our clip, adjust the brightness and contrast, and make it ready for final render. So the first thing I'm gonna go through is adding some brightness and contrast. I use levels in Sony Vegas, and I have a preset that I use for basically every map to make it look the same. So that's the first thing I'm adding. I've been using this in pretty much all of my videos. So you can play around with it yourself to find a good setting for you, one that you prefer to use. But this is the one I'm using. It looks like this. If the highlight is taking place in a darker part of the map, I usually lower this to around half. So I go to 35 instead of 65. That's it for the brightness and contrast, very simple. And then I also have presets for each map in CSGO. And the Inferno one is, most of my colors are a bit bluish. It just makes it look better in my opinion. You can play around yourself and find a good color that suits you. Some people might use a more reddish tone for maps that's taking place outside, I guess, but I prefer to use the more bluish. And if you want to have a look at this Inferno preset, it looks like this. So that's about it for color on my clip. Now we're gonna play it through one time to see if everything is alright. Yep. Well, everything seems to be okay. So another thing I want to talk a little bit about is resampling. Many prefer to not use resampling. I am not one of those guys. I like it better with resampling. As you can see, you get like a motion blur kind of thing. Using resampling will make your clip have a nicer flow, or it will look smoother than have it disabled. So for instance, fast movements and stuff, this is a good example. You see here, it's kind of blurred out. That is the motion blur that's coming from resampling. If I right click here, I'm gonna just put a marker here so I know where I am. If I right click and go to properties, I can choose to disable it, like this. That gives us 0 frame blending, or motion blur. So each frame now is its own thing. They're not blending together. And well, in some cases I use it without resampling, but for like frag movies and longer highlights, I definitely prefer using resampling, because the flow of the clip will be much better, and it will look better, and it would be easier for your eyes. As I said, resampling is always turned on in my videos. Hate it or love it, I don't know. That's how I'm gonna do it, because it looks better in my opinion. One thing that's worth mentioning is if you want to save this clip only as it is and maybe add it to a compilation or a montage or whatever for later use, then I suggest you turn it off, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to use slow motion, because it will look so blurry. So turning it off for like future use, that's a good idea, but not in this case. We're gonna have it turned on for now. That's it for part 2 in the tutorial series. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.